Major sports media deals, football palooza, media feuds. Here we go, John. Take it away, Charles.
We're the reason people ain't watching this crappy product we got. That's JJ. Yeah, us, like we out there jacking up 103s a night. JJ, I don't know Jason Monroe. I don't know who that is, but JJ, you come for the king, you better not miss.
And we're back. Marchand and Meterparel. I'm Andrew Marchand. He's Jon Meterparel. And John, great to be back with you. Full agenda today. First off, how are you doing as we turn fully into 2025 and sports media is abuzz?
I'm doing great, Andrew. Good to see you as well. Happy New Year, everybody. We just violated Larry David's rule. You can't say that here in the late stages of January or early stages of January, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's go to our agenda, Andrew. ESPN sees Netflix and Amazon coming and is making moves. Where does Netflix stand in the sports world? Is Tom Brady ready for prime time? A question we've asked many times. College football playoffs, do they work on TV?
Yeah, we'll go also into the Amazon moves. I reported this weekend about Blake Griffin and Dirk Nowitzki joining Amazon, get a little bit into Altice versus MSG, which is none of those squabbles that everyone loves in terms of not being able to watch their games that they already paid for. And then we'll do a little impressions of Joe Buck interview, maybe get into the Chris Oliveira one. Quick thing on, you mentioned Larry David. I actually have a Larry David story. When I was covering Francesa versus Kay at the peak of Francesa Kay, Larry David was a
It's
New
like
York
Hagler Hearns.
Yeah, exactly. Larry David was a big New York Post reader, and he said to somebody I know, he said, "What is the deal with Marchand? Does he just cover and write about the ratings between? Is that his whole job, writing about Kay versus Francesa?" Which is, I'll take it. That's pretty good, Larry
Absolutely.
David story. All right, if you want to listen to the full podcast, andrewmarchand.com, andrewmarchand.com. Our business has been talked about 5 minutes they spent on Boomer and Geo on WFAN, which is the #1 rated show in New York. So we appreciate the time. We're sponsored by WSC Sports, as always, Magic Crop. It takes a lot of time for editors to create vertical content that fans are used to watching on TikTok, Instagram, etc. Automatically create and publish vertical videos at scale with WSC Sports Magic Crop. It follows the live action, so you always get a perfect piece of content every time. Go to WSC Sports, just Google that, WSC Sports, go in the right-hand corner, demo, yellow button, and tell them Marchand sent you, and you'll talk to them, and you'll make a deal. Leagues, teams, especially, you're the ones that they're looking for, and I think you'll find a nice match there. Tuesday's main event is Jason McCourty, CBS, does a lot of things, NFL Network he was with previously. We first talked about on the old podcast. He did great at the NFL boot camp that they have for players, and his career has just taken off. So we'll have Jason McCourty in the main event. Last week, Joe Buck, great response for that one. Previous week, Chris Oliveira. Should we get it going? What's up, what's down?
I think we should. I'll let you bat lead off. What's up, Andrew?
All right, my what's up is the aforementioned Amazon. I think their NBA coverage and who they've hired so far, they're 3 for 3. First off, Iron Eagle, you know you're going to have great game coverage. It's kind of like they got Al Michaels for the NFL, instant credibility on the game side. Now, Nowitzki and Griffin, I think those are two fun hires, more recent than what you've seen maybe a little bit with TNT Sports, which of course has the iconic Inside the NBA, but those guys have been out of the league for a long time. Nowitzki did some work with TNT, was good there. Blake Griffin is known for being a humorous guy, so I think there could be potential there. They're following that same model that they had with NFL, trying to get more current, which they've done with Ryan Fitzpatrick, Andrew Whitworth, Richard Sherman, etc. there in their pregame. So my what's up, Amazon, and their start with their NBA hires.
All right, my what's up is one Laura Rutledge from ESPN. She is ubiquitous now on the network, and man, did her profile rise in the last couple of weeks. She was an outstanding reporter for them in New Orleans after the terrorist attack. Just the tragic circumstances there on the eve of the Sugar Bowl, and Laura had to go into news mode. Now, it wasn't exactly, I wouldn't really compare it to Al Michaels in the 1989 earthquake. I wouldn't compare it to Jim McKay in 1972 at Munich, but she still showed a real good grasp of the material, which a lot of people can't do. The translation to news is difficult for some. She was seamless. She knew exactly what she was talking about. She had good sources. She was competent, and she was composed, and she was a nice voice to have for ABC News to utilize. And she, again, was everywhere. So I think she's doing great work not only in sports now, but in news too.
Yeah, my end of the year athletic column, Golden Clickers. Laura Rutledge won a Golden Clicker for Rising Star. So I guess I was ahead of it.
It's like a Golden Globe. I almost gave my what's up to Nikki Glazer.
Oh, you thought she was good?
Oh, she was outstanding.
All right. Like, I love when Meterparel. He can go off. He can not just sports. That's what you get with Meterparel. I watched on YouTube. He was just killing Paramount Plus every left and right.
She was a little bit.
I watched it on. I watched it online or monologue. I thought it was pretty good. All right, my what's down. Speaking of this genre, Jason Kelce. He had his debut on Friday with his new late night show that he's doing for this next month. It needs work. All right, here's my advice to ESPN and Jason Kelce and NFL Films, who's working with. Keep it simple. Don't try to make Jason Kelce into Conan O'Brien. Now, I will say, back in the day when we were at Ithaca College and Conan O'Brien first debuted, Scott Lauer was my good buddy, Kevin Connors, and you. I don't know if we discussed this, but I remember watching Conan. It was the worst thing ever. And then Conan went on to be amazing. Now, I'm not saying Kelsey's going to become Conan or be so. There is room for growth. But that show, there's a lot of cringeworthy moments. They were trying too hard. It was too much Philadelphia. And I also think you have to know the skill set. Jason Kelce's got a great personality. But being TV funny is different than being funny, right? It's a different level to be TV funny and to be able to hit it at that level. And I think trying to do that too much with him came across as a little bit corny. So Jason Kelce gets my what's down.
A valid criticism. Maybe a Guillermo is in his future, a sidekick. That might help.
He did. Well, he had his wife there, but she wasn't utilized enough. I'd like to see her
not
more.
Sure,
maybe.
That's going to be your turnkey moment there. But maybe his wife could be it. Who knows? All right, my what's down, man. Adam Archuleta. He was on the dreaded Patriots game with Spiro Ditas, as that game was just watched by 15 people around New England, yours truly included, to see if the Patriots would get the number one pick in the draft. It did not happen. They somehow beat Buffalo. But Adam Archuleta, throughout the game, was using the word really. As Joe Buck would say, that is a empty word. It's not right, like Joe Buck mentioned on your podcast, but really was everywhere out of his mouth. It seemed like every other sentence was really, starting with the word really. Yes, Adam, we really understand you. You can move on to really something more important. So it drove me nuts. And he just was all over the place. It was a tough game to broadcast because there really wasn't much there. Spiro Ditas did his best, but Adam Archuleta had a rough Sunday.
Really good analysis from you. If you really want to listen to the rest of this podcast and you're not a subscriber already, go to andrewmarchand.com, andrewmarchand.com. It's quick, it's simple. And also, if you listen, you can easily link up to, so just all these pods, just go to your pod player. I may send out another email just showing people how to do that who haven't already done it. So it just goes to your pod player. You don't even have to think about it. It goes to your pod player. You don't have to go to your emails, but that's something to look at. It's very simple. If you go on your Substack, or when you get the email, you hit that view browser in the upper right when you get the email, and then that should take you right where you need to go to do that. But andrewmarchand.com to upgrade your subscription. Let's